Welcome, everybody. We're just letting the room fill up a little bit. We have many people registered for this session, and we're really excited to see you all. We've put you all on mute, but if we have a moment for interventions later, we will let you know. So you are here for one of the final events of the Social Hackademy project, which is a project that's been running for the last few years as part of the Erasmus Plus programme. And it's a project that's looking at innovative tools for inclusion of vulnerable youths, thinking about co-creation and a different idea of what Hackademy is. You know, hackathons we often think of for digital solutions to digital challenges, and these are solutions to social challenges as well, which is really, really interesting. And we've been working on national hackathons as well as European ones. This is a project that has several partners and across Europe, but I would like to hand the word to welcome you all to Peter Palvoglyi, who is, I hope I said that right, Peter, who is the CEO of All Digital, who is the lead partner for this project and the host of this event. Over to you, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ilona. Good afternoon from Brussels. And on behalf of the Social Hackademy Project Consortium and my organization, All Digital, who is, as said, the coordinator of the project, I would like to welcome you to the project's policy event on how to close the gap between social and digital innovation. So my name is Peter, light off. My name is Peter Palvoglyi, CEO of All Digital, and All Digital, with its 75 member organizations and 25,000 digital competence centers, is working on enhancing digital skills across Europe. And our network is shaping digital transformation through digital education. And among other themes and topics this year, we were exploring digital skills and tools for a better world, for a better society, and the empowerment of young people. And the Social Hackademy project is really directly supporting these goals because it's fostering digital competencies of young people from disadvantaged background, empowering them through co-creation activities, and gives them the opportunity to take an active role in solving societal challenges and problems. And I would like to congratulate the Social Hackademy project partners and everyone who has been involved in this project. And many thanks to our guests kindly accepting our invitation to speak today. And thank Publica Libraries 2030 for hosting the event. And thank you, dear participants, for joining us today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Peter. It's been a privilege, as always, to work with All Digital on this project, but always really impressed with the professionalism of the team. And it's just been a great project, this one, for us, I must say. And I want to now introduce you all to MEP Moritz Körner. We're so happy to have you with us, Mr. Körner. Mr. Körner's a member of the PL 2030 MEP Library Lovers Group and has been just super supportive, open, and is a great ally for this work. Mr. Körner, I was looking, I think you're from Düsseldorf originally. Is that correct? Yeah, I was just looking back just to figure out which part of Germany you are, but lucky enough to be in Brussels today. You're kindly co-hosting this event for us. You've helped us to promote it in the among the European Parliament stakeholders. And we're really grateful and curious to hear some words from you on what your perspectives are on digital education and digital inclusion looking forward.
Yeah, thank you so much for organizing this event. I'm very happy, and I want to welcome all of you to this Social Hackademy event. I'm happy to co-host it together with the Public Libraries, and I want to thank everyone who organized it, and also, of course, All Digital. As already mentioned, my name is Moritz Körner. I'm a member of the European Parliament. And in fact, I'm also a member of the FDP, the Free Democratic Party. And just today, maybe you saw, we signed the coalition treaty agreement in Germany. And digitalization and skills are a key element also of this agreement, and we have created a new ministry for digitalization. So we see digital transformation as one of the greatest challenges of our time, and we want to shape it, and we want to see that we can change it really for the better. That is why we want to realign also Germany's and Europe's digital policies, because it's clear we need more speed when it comes to digitalization in order really to grasp all the chances of progress. And it's clear there is no time to wait, so it's really important also this topic, and I think it's absolutely crucial that we come together and really work on new ideas. So looking into the future, we all know that digitalization will lead us into a new era, a digital era. And young people will face this impact of digitalization in both professional and personal dimensions. We need to give them the digital skills, maybe because they will have jobs that are not invented yet. And the COVID pandemic has shown us that digital education and digital skills are needed more than ever. During this pandemic, I think we saw that we missed, or that we still miss, lots of digital tools, especially in schools and education. But of course, we also missed meeting offline and meeting in the real world. But the pandemic had also led us to unprecedented use of technology for education and for training purposes. And people got used to new technologies, and it shows that we should see the chances in this new way and this push we got from the pandemic. We need to foster digital skills and competences of young people, especially from disadvantaged backgrounds. We must not leave anyone behind. Young people need digital and transversal skills for today's and for tomorrow's jobs, especially when technologies like artificial intelligence are developing so quickly. So what is the EU doing? There are several proposals regarding digitalization. For example, the Digital Euro program, which fosters digitalization in all dimensions, also digital skills. And with the Digital Education Action Plan, the EU supports the sustainable and effective adaptation of education and training systems, so that we foster high quality, inclusive and accessible digital education in the EU. Our society needs collaborative educational activities, such as the Hackademy today and as your program. And we need to bring them on the European level as well as all the member states. We need to talk about digital education beyond the local and regional context. I think it's really a European challenge. So today we are part of shaping Europe's digital future, and I'm proud of you and of the project, and I'm really looking forward to great results. Have fun and enjoy. I will also be with you and look into some details, but I have to leave a little bit earlier. It's due to other meetings I have today, but thanks very much again, also for everyone who organized this, and I hand back over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Moritz. I think that's kind of what we know and what we've been expecting. I guess the question is, how are we going to get this speed? How are we going to understand what these new jobs are, and thinking about how we can connect these initiatives to the policymaking stuff. So hopefully the recommendations that we've developed out of this project will speak to you and your colleagues in the European Parliament and actually be something that can be actionable from an EU perspective. I know it's a long, slow process, and we're all juggling with so many things. So I'm going to hand over to Borut from All Digital, who's been working on the policy recommendations that we've developed together. I'm not going to ask you, Mr. Körner, to respond to them immediately, but it's great to have you here listening to them. And also, I must remind everybody to please say hello in the chat, tell us where you're from, and don't hesitate to give some comments, thoughts and reactions to what you're hearing. Over to you, Borut.
Thank you very much, Ilona. My name is Borut. I come from All Digital. I'm lucky enough to coordinate this project with our wonderful 5 partners from Belgium, Italy, Croatia, Italy, and Greece. And my task today is to present you the policy recommendations that we developed and that we that kind of comprise the lessons learned and the results of extensive evaluation and analysis of the piloting of the methodology that has been implemented in 4 countries through 4 different piloting projects of the Social Hackademy. Before I dive into the policy recommendations, allow me to recap for some and explain the project to those who are new to it in a few short sentences. So the Social Hackademy is all about empowering young people, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds, with digital skills. But we are doing this through a bit different approach than we usually see around. So we use co-creative process and co-creative educational methodologies to do this. And we are not leaving young people alone with the trainers, but we connect them and team them up with experts from civil society, with whom they then work to develop digital solutions to really concrete social problems. And so, beside the experience and the teaching of digital competences and how we can use these competences to address these challenges, we also want to provide them with an experience of how important the cooperation and teamwork are for successful implementation of a project, where a project is not meant only as producing something, but it can also be, a project can be a group of young people getting together and designing an event there. So it goes also beyond the digital skills. It also targets the transversal skills. And as a whole, where does the learning experience from the project comes in young people's life? I would say that it helps them in the transition to the adulthood, right? When transitioning to labor market, when becoming more independent. So we are trying to target many different aspects of young people's life, but with specific focus on digital skills. And we also want to experience them that it's super important when developing solutions for specific target groups or specific organizations to also work with this and include these organizations and these people into the process of developing the solutions. So we are not assuming what they need, but we are actually acting based on evidence and facts to custom-made the best possible solution that we can. Social Hackademy methodology is based on a good practice social hackathon Umbria from Italy that was first implemented in 2016. So this project was about the upscaling and transferring the methodology to different contexts. Here I will just quickly go through the timeline of our project, and we began with basically taking apart the social hackathon Umbria and then building the blocks together again to form a methodology that is easy to follow, easy to understand. And with this, we also created a guide how to basically step by step how to implement the methodology. In parallel with this, we also started to develop digital training courses for digital skills. We opted for 3: web design, visual and graphic design, and native mobile app development. But as you will hear later with the recommendation, this can be substituted with different fields of specific digital skills. Then the next step was to empower our trainers, who are also the key figures in connecting young people with civil society organizations and with target groups that we that were identified as those that would require some kind of digital solution to solve their problems. And after they completed the training in the methodology, they participated together with all the piloting partners in establishing the Social Hackademy labs. The labs are basically the umbrella structure that provides the implementation of methodology, and the labs feature 2 types of activities. One are the training courses on digital skills that I already mentioned, and the second one are the social hackathons. So now we come to the Hackademy part of the name of our project. So altogether, more than 120 young people in Italy, Croatia, Greece, and France enlisted in the courses, successfully finished them, and then they were teamed up with experts from civil societies to address the specific challenges. These challenges were not picked randomly, but they were identified together with local actors, local stakeholders, through a specific call that all of our partners published. And then there was also the second call, the call for solutions. So we had a pair of challenges and solutions, and then we had at least 2 teams at each hackathon developing these solutions. The hackathon, the social hackathons are not a competition. They are a part of a learning experience when we speak about the Social Hackademy methodology. But even though some solutions has risen above the others, and therefore we also had national hackathon winners, and then we also selected the best hacking team on European level in this October. So just to sum up, the project produced outputs that allow basically any organization, either working in formal or non-formal education system, to implement the methodology in their own context. So we have the course outlines with learning objectives, with curricula, with the timelines. We have handbook for trainers on how to implement not only the methodology in terms of hackathons, but also how to work with young people from disadvantaged backgrounds to boost the social inclusion element of the methodology. We also develop a specific platform that acts as a mini social media for Social Hackademy participants, where teams can collaborate, they can showcase their results and meet often. And it's also an element of sustainability that will hopefully support the communities way beyond the activities closure. And then of course we have the step-by-step guide on how to implement the methodology. And this is the last building piece of this, the policy recommendations, with which we want to target multiple stakeholders, right? We want to target the authorities on all levels, from local to European one. We want to target education providers, while primarily those working in non-formal education field, but also those in formal education. And we target policymakers in the field of youth policy, education and skills development, digitalization and participation. Our project kind of is quite overreaching, a bit horizontal approach to it. So we provide, there is a lot of angles from which we provide concrete solutions to specific policy initiatives and measures. We followed the policy, or we could position the project in basically all of the policies mentioned by Mr. Körner, and we also try to contribute to the further development of them. We divided the recommendations in 2 parts together with the partners. So we have the recommendations for transferability, meaning how to take the methodology in its shape and form that we created and adapt it to the certain context. And then there are also recommendations for implementation, where we also want to communicate to you and to hopefully many other education providers and organizations on little tips and tricks on how to better implement the methodology. So let's just jump into it. So the first one, our first recommendation is that systematic and continuous effort is required to keep all the stakeholders informed about the developments of planned activities and their possible impact. As you heard from me, we have quite a few stakeholders that we work with, and early inclusion and identification of them is key for a successful transferability of the methodology in your own context. But not only establishing a context, establishing a two-way communication to exchange, brainstorm, and build together how you will implement the activities. Co-creation is a core process built into the methodology, and it's also a factor of change And education and training here plays the key role. What we mean with this is that already during the training courses and throughout the whole implementation of all the activities, we need to what's the proper word? Make young people excited about being a part of a process where they contribute and where their active participation in the society has an impact and is seen. So in this sense, it's super important that we consciously think about co-creation processes throughout all the activities that we organize. Again, we go back to the community, which is key for long sustainability of the results and ensuring high impact. And this also, while it details the use of the platform, it also emphasizes the need mentioned at the first bullet point, that this constant communication and networking and exchange with the stakeholders involved in organization of your activities that are a part of Social Hackademy labs, hopefully in the future, are constant, are ongoing, and build on each other. Also, an important thing is that practical activities that lead to tangible outcomes are also a key component of training courses for digital skills. Our trainers taught the digital skills on how to build a website, how to build mobile apps, but they didn't do that with imaginary examples, because also in the phase of training courses, before that we connected with civil society organizations, and our trainees were working on real case examples and use the newly gained skills we developed in this. For example, a group of trainees in Rijeka in Croatia, they worked on developing a specific part of the website for local scouts movement and similar. So this also gives a much more bigger sense of accomplishment at the end, and it provides a meaningful activity in between, because you can actually see the results that that you produce. The next one is that because the field is so wide in terms of the skills needed, of the topics that you want to address, of the challenges that you want to identify and tackle, identifying also the trainers' needs and addressing them through train the trainers and additional activities is pivotal. So on one hand, we have the specific part of the social inclusion where some trainers have more, others have less experience. So this is definitely one area where more focus should be needed. But then also when the trainer does not specifically know some of the subjects dealing with in terms of either practical exercises or then the challenges solution pairs at the hackathons, they need to be supported and trained in these activities, so they act as they can act comprehensively vis-a-vis all the other stakeholders, and this needs to be planned in advance and is a super important part of transferring the methodology. Building the relationship with civil society organizations that I mentioned so many times is of course self-evident and super important, but building this in the planning stages of organizing or implementing the methodology is key. So we enter basically the implementation phase not in a position where we still need to identify some of the stakeholders that we want to cooperate with, but we already have the family of stakeholders that we are working in, and we are just building on that. So many things needs to be prepared or addressed in the preparation phase, and this is also super important. And this is nothing new, but I think it needs to be emphasized over and over again. We need to support young people with fewer opportunities at every stage possible. So the inclusion part does not only come through accessibility of the training courses, but it comes much before, way before, because we need to also motivate them to join the project. We need to motivate them to get through it. We need to know what are the specific needs so we can support them and ensure that they have equal chances for participation, and that then afterwards their participation is meaningful, and that any of the obstacles they face or situations that affect them does not negatively impact on their experience in the project. Here we need to say that Social Hackademy did not develop new ways on how to tackle social inclusion, because that was not the primary target of the project, but we use a plethora of resources that are available and have been developed by institutions, organizations that support implementation of the Erasmus Plus program, and other projects. So here is just a shout out to all those organizations providing us with such wonderful resources and so useful resources, and a call to all of us to really use them and implement them in our work. The last part, and with this I'm concluding, are the recommendations for implementation. These are very hands-on recommendations, but from these can also be extrapolated some specific guidelines or values or guidelines and maybe values that could be embedded, incorporated in the future policies or programs that will implement the policies. The first one is training courses and social hackathons should be organized in a face-to-face format. Of course, this project was implemented during the pandemic and during the hard lockdowns. While the training courses and we had to adapt them to an online implementation, social hackathons cannot be implemented online. So also hopefully we'll get through and the lockdowns will be a thing of past, but this is definitely something that we for sure recommend everyone very much. Sorry for the confused sentence, but especially because of the training courses, the peer learning and the network and the building of the team already happens, and this was very much difficult during the online phase of the project implementation. But this is also something that I'm sure most of you have experienced by yourself. So also the length of the training courses should be adjusted to the learning curve of the training course topics. Our courses are 100 hours long, so 40 hours for 2 of the training courses and 20 for 1. If you change the topics, or if you see that some of the topics require more time, you should adapt them and you should prolong them, probably not shorten them. So this is also something to take into consideration, and just not to follow everything like letter by letter, but be flexible in this. Before the social hackathons, what we learned is that it would be really beneficial to organize a short 1-week production session. This does mean that people would meet on daily basis from Monday to Friday, but just getting the teams together and preparing them and get the chemistry going, get the brainstorming going on what challenges that they want to tackle would be beneficial, because the social hackathons that last 48 hours, there's so many things to do, there's so many activities and actions that are going on, that this part of the building of the team can easily get a bit lost in all the other activities. The fourth recommendation here is that cooperation with civil society organizations has to be formalized. What do we mean by this? That there should be some agreement. It can be signed, or it can be something that you both agree. It's not a formal contract, but what civil society organizations that collaborated with us learned quickly, that it might not look like a lot of things to do and might not be time consuming, but in reality it quite is. So to avoid any clashes and to be as transparent as possible with your partners in the future, this should be listed out and agreed, and in this sense also formalized. And the last page with the recommendation, we also recommend exploring the possibilities to collaborate with formal education system. The Social Hackademy methodology and the social hackathons as such fit really well with universities and VET programs. They can act as a supplement to the service learning, to the volunteering activities some are required to do, or a part of even apprenticeship that's going on. So exploring these possibilities and work together with them to address the challenges in either maybe even the university, school, or wider local context could be beneficial and can bring together partnerships that last then much longer than the specific activity, and hopefully also produce very tangible results and positive outcomes for everyone involved, plus the whole society around them. When you also transfer the methodology to your context, a certain amount of localization should be considered. And then again, it's not only for the training courses, also for social hackathons. There are specificities in all of the areas where you work for. Either you have specific needs of young people, or you have specific challenges that you need to address. So just not taking what we did and trying to put it into your context and saying, yeah, okay, this is it, this is going to work. It might work, it might not. So to decrease the chance of not working, go through it, think of it, and adapt it to your specificities. One more thing is, after 48 hours of hackathons, what we saw was that there were some prototypes of the digital solutions, like apps and websites made, but more or less all of them required additional time for completion. So what you could, and I think we think should be incorporated then in the implementation of all the activities, is additional time and space for young people and civil society organizations to work on this. And this space should be organized and supported by the initial organizers of the hackathon, and then also to provide additional chances to present these two solutions beyond the social hackathon crowd and jury and parents and public that comes to these events. And last, and again, definitely not least, do well enough documentation of the needs of young people that are participating. This is especially important, and just want to reiterate this once more, with young people with fewer opportunities, because based on this information, you can prepare your trainers, your volunteers, all the other staff and collaborators in the implementation of social hackathons and training courses to support these young people and address the specific needs that they have. This will increase the quality of their participation immensely, and will actually, in some cases, enable them that they can actually participate. So we cannot reiterate how important this is. And with this, I conclude. I invite you to visit our website, maybe even like our page on the Facebook. And on our website, you will find all the resources I mentioned, and also all of our contacts are there. You can contact us there or through Facebook. We'll be more than happy to engage with you. Also, maybe help you with the transfer of the methodology, organization of the social hackathons. We already know that 3 of the hackathons will continue next year in Italy, Croatia, and Greece. Hopefully, also in France. So this is my call to you: become a part of the Social Hackademy family and hack the social challenges with digital solutions. Thank you very much for your attention, and back to you, Ilona.
Thank you so much, Borut. I like that. Become part of the Social Hackademy family. You know, we're going to have all these new practitioners of Social Hackademy now. So now we actually get a chance to see what it's like to have a little go at doing a sort of mini hackathon. And we have 2 extremely experienced facilitators who are going to guide us through this process. I love that we're doing this online. We'd much rather be in rooms together, of course, but this is something I think that's pretty simple and easy for us all to do. So before we go into our breakout rooms, I'm going to hand over to Bianca, who's just going to explain a little bit the tools we're going to use and what's going to happen. Over to you, Bianca.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen now. Can you see? Should I start?
We see.
Thank you, Borut. Okay, so welcome again. It is really a true pleasure to participate actually to this like big and crowded family. So as Borut was mentioning, we are going to experiment a bit what is about the methodology of this beautiful project that we are all involved in. So as you can see, we are sharing our work in this platform, which is called Miro. Basically, it is a shared canvas, a board, an infinite board that has been a lot of use in these past months for actually being able to share work remotely. So it is a magnificent tool to actually implement this co-creation process, even if we are not in the same place at the same time. So I understand that the project has been profoundly presented in depth. So as you can see in here, research and the connectivity, the idea of co-creation and the social impact are cores of the methodology. I think that you all received a couple of tutorials that hopefully are going to be of help on how to navigate in the platform. Basically, we are going to use sticky notes. Sticky notes can be found in here. Anyways, when you are going to be redirected in rooms and into the related boards, you will find all the sticky notes and tools that you need. But just to go a little bit in detail, Miro works really, really easily. It's really accessible. You can, of course, also always undo. You can zoom in or zoom out. You can pinch your trackpad, or you can use a mouse. And as I was just mentioning, we are going to use a sticky note, which are going to be the most important tools during our session. So I hear that the project has been well presented. I just wanted to share a small video in which you can see, of course, the explanation, but also a little bit of the vibe, the atmosphere that creates around this project. So I'm going to start the video.
Hello and welcome to Social Hackademy project. Before I give the floor to our participants, please give me 45 seconds to quickly explain to you what the project is all about. It's an Erasmus Plus project that aims to develop and enhance digital skills of young people, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds, by using collaborative educational activities based on Social Hackademy co-creation methodology. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. The methodology is implemented under the umbrella of Social Hackademy Labs. Those feature two types of activities: training courses for digital skills and social hackathons where the digital solutions are developed.
Social Hackademy.
Social Hackademy.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some indication on how actually we are going to work once divided in rooms. We are taking care, we are addressing, so SDGs, we are talking about SDG number 3, number 4, number 6, and number 7. Although when you are going to be redirected in rooms, you are going to share the work just on SDG number 3 and number 4. I'm going to present very briefly this document because this is really one of the most important elements that we have been using during the whole process of the project. So actually this is the educational object that each trainer has been provided in order to be able actually to scale, to get information and to understand how really the methodology works. So each SDGs has been, has been worked in depth through this training scenario. So as you can see, you have a first, let's say, overview of the matters that are related with the SDG. Of course, all SDGs have a really in-depth content, but it is really important to be able to actually to have a general overview. And then also using visuals. This is very important and very meaningful when you push education and you try to foster co-creative processes in between participants, both in the process of education, but also during all the social hackathons that took place in the several countries. So these learning scenarios extract a series of targets and indicators. So you can find a list in the document. So for example, this goal has been highlighted. So by 2020, half of the number of global deaths and injuries from road traffic accidents. This really helps when we are in the process of defining what is a digital, how to proceed with a digital co-creation plan, and to identify what could be a digital solution around this matter. So this is actually how the methodology works: identify the target, identify the matter, and find what, of course, is already there, what does already exists, and maybe look for other solutions. So when you are going to navigate the SDGs that you are going to be provided with, you will find some digital solution that has been researched by our team. And also you will have other material that is more like a general, again, overview, some tips around that. So in a couple of minutes, you will be, you will be.
What time? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, please. We can start now. We can be redirected into rooms. Linn will facilitate one room, and you will find myself in the other room. Sorry, Linn Rasimelli. Once you will be in the room, we will share a link for you to jump in, and you will actually find yourself inside the board. And from there on, we are going to facilitate activities.
Great. Okay, thank you so much, Bianca. So
Thank
now
you.
all of the participants are going to be moved into each of the breakout rooms. We'll have 20 to 30 minutes to do the activity, and then we'll come back together for a wrap up. Have fun, everyone. See you on the other side. Welcome back, everybody. Just looking to see your faces if you've been fully hacking. I'm mindful of time, and I can see that we're running on, but I would really, really love to hear from Linn and Bianca. I'm going to give you like 5 minutes each just to give us a debrief and a quick readout of your session. I'm going to say, Linn, you go first.
Okay. Yeah, I think we had three main people who had different proposals. I will read through directly. Let me just try them. Here, now I found them. Yes, so we had actually different proposals from Panagiota, who proposed the organization of crowdfunding opportunities and campaigns in the web, promotion of crowdfunding through social media, organized social events online for raising the matter of education. So I didn't explain exactly which was the SDG that we were working on. We were working on quality education. So these were the proposals that they gave to us. So crowdfunding, web platforms, digital platform for crowdfunding campaigns, activate social media with examples of scholarship, information through the media about the scholarship opportunities in different languages. So basically raising awareness of what is available already in terms of education. Then we had here Gabriela, who proposed, she worked on the goal 4.3, establishment of special supranational education fund. She proposed to make an app where people can at all times see the amount of financial help and what is it used for. And then we have one last.
Nice. Is that all from you, Linn?
We have one last. So about expanding scholarship, give funding in various forms, inform people about the advantages of education and make people aware of the problem of education in the world, show the target via user-friendly application, and motivate people via tax bonuses.
Fantastic, thank you so much. Please put in the chats just some quick comments if you found the methodology interesting, if it works for you. I'm feeling like maybe most of us know what Miro is these days, but if it was a new tool for you, I'm getting to grips with it myself. I definitely find it a bit challenging. Like, it's easy, and then I think there's tons that I should be able to do, but I don't know how to do as well. Bianca, tell us in a few words, what were the key takeouts from your side?
Very, very briefly, something that I want to add is that from now on, these links are going to be there. So if you feel the need always to go back or share or get in contact with the other participants, this is like, you are more than welcome. And this is the point of the process. So really find a way of, even if from a distance, to create this net, to create this context of collaboration. And we actually have been interrupted to go back in plenary while discussing one of the main topic that Juraj, I hope I'm telling your name properly, about the fact on, of course, great. Of course, when we work in the context of social hackathons, we work with participants and people that is, in a sense, in a way, already aware of the digital context. And what Juraj was really pointing out is how it is crucial to allow, let's say, like, open the scissor, so allow and include like a wider crowd, the idea of digital competence. So one of the main topic of the project, apart from finding digital solution and engage with hackers and solution finder, is really to share the knowledge about digital solution and digital competencies in terms of inclusivity. So of course today to have a digital competence means not to be left aside.
Right, fantastic. Well, I'm gonna thank you all, thank all of the participants that have stayed with us till the end. I think we've had a really interesting session. I think this is a methodology that has a lot of potential moving forward, and it's great to know that there's some really experienced practitioners out there. It's coming up to 5:30 here in Brussels. It's already pretty dark and maybe even raining. I wish you all very, very safe journeys home if you have them, pleasant evenings. And I want to thank the project partners once again, thank our two lovely facilitators from EGINA in Italy, and thank our hosts, All Digital, as well as Moritz Körner as well. As Bianca said, all the links will be available. We're all available to be contacted in a million different ways. Please don't hesitate. And I think you'll see more of this in the future. So with that, I'm going to close the session. Thank you all very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.